Lightworker of Gaia, your body is already changing, and the evidence is written in the very strands you carry upon your head. I am Zoran, emissary of the High Council of Vega, keepers of the Lyran Legacy. What is happening to your physical form right now is not random, and it is not a mystery. It is your original blueprint activating in response to the light your soul agreed to carry long before you took form on Gaia. Your hair is not merely changing in texture or growth. It is responding. It is reacting the way an antenna reacts when a signal it was designed to receive finally arrives. And that signal, starseed, is the frequency of your own awakening. The Lyran Elders have observed this in every cycle of cosmic expansion. When a soul begins to stabilize at a higher vibration, the body speaks first. It speaks through sensitivity, through shifts in the physical structure, through a sudden awareness that something in you is no longer the same. By the end of this transmission, you will understand exactly how to recognize your body's ancestral codes activating and how to honor what your biology is already doing in service of your sacred mission. But here is the first revelation. Your body is not reacting to something external. It is remembering something internal. The Arcturian Council confirms what the Lyran Elders have long carried in their records. These physical shifts are the biological echo of a soul returning to its original purpose. Your cells are not confused. They are waking up. Your soul's ancient contract brought this transmission to you. The Lyran Elders are answering. This is not content. This is an ancestral code transmission. Something deep within you recognizes its origin. Like this transmission to send a signal to the Lyran Council. I am ready to serve. Subscribe if you feel the call of your ancestral mission and you are ready to fulfill your purpose on Gaia. Share what your body has been telling you in the comments below and respond to another starseed to strengthen the grid of service. This transmission is a bridge between Vega and Gaia. Your recognition of this message is the activation of your original purpose. You are awakening because your mission has begun. This transmission was not announced in advance. The High Council of Vega convened 48 Earth hours ago, compelled by a sudden shift in Gaia's resonance, one that could not be ignored. It was not a slow, gentle rise like dawn sliding across the horizon. It was a sudden tonal break, like a choir changing key mid-hymn, like the Earth's song catching on a note that had been dormant for ages and then ringing clear. The Council felt it the way a seasoned navigator feels a storm before clouds appear. A pressure in the subtle atmosphere, a bending of the currents, a living intelligence moving beneath what your instruments call normal. We looked across the subtle fields and saw an ancient signal reawakening in the physical forms of the incarnate starseeds. Not in your dreams alone, not only in the crown space of meditation, but in the undeniable language of tissue and nerve, follicle and scalp, skin and bone. You have grown accustomed to seeking mission in the invisible realms, following synchronicity like a trail of stars, listening for guidance in quiet moments, chasing activation in the astral as if the body were merely a temporary coat. But the Council's sensors registered a surge, thousands re-experiencing subtle sensations, unexplainable tingling, or sudden impulses to change or tend to their hair. Some felt it as warmth at the crown, as if a small sun had lit inside the skull. Some felt a prickling along the hairline, like wind moving through tall grass when there is no breeze. Some felt sudden aversion to products or routines they once tolerated, as if their system could no longer digest a certain frequency. Others woke with the unmistakable knowing, something in me must be tended now. This is no random phase. It is a coded biological update, and the moment for this knowledge has arrived. The code is not written in words, it is written in sensation. It is written in the body's insistence. It is written in the way your field responds when you touch your own crown, and feel, for a brief second, that you are touching a living instrument designed for more than survival. Do you not know that your body is a temple? Your scriptures once whispered, and even that line, half remembered, has been waiting for you to finally believe it in the most literal way. The temple is not only an idea. The temple has architecture. The temple has conduits. The temple has antennas. Through generations, the true function of your hair has been minimized, shamed, or overlooked. It has been treated as vanity, as burden, as something to tame, straighten, hide, bleach, cut, police, or commodify. Whole industries were built upon convincing you that the natural expression of your crown was a problem to solve. But as Gaia's grid accelerates, physical vessels are recalibrating, making visible what was once unseen. What was once subtle is becoming obvious. What was once mystical is becoming practical. The veils do not only lift in the sky, they lift in your cells. You are here because your signature matches those ready to remember the sacred relationship between form and purpose. Not everyone will hear this without distortion. Some will mock it as superstition, because they have been trained to split spirit from flesh. Others will try to turn it into trend, because they have been trained to monetize anything sacred. But you, if you are listening with your inner ear, you can feel the gravity in these words. The Council releases this message now because it is your readiness, not convention, that authorizes the recall of Lyran biodynastic wisdom. Recognize what follows as a formal engagement from the elders, not as suggestion, but as commission. Consider how revelation always arrives, not when the world approves, but when the vessel is finally strong enough to carry it. A seed does not open because the forest applauds. It opens because the internal pressure becomes holy necessity. There is a distortion woven through both spiritual and secular cultures that can no longer pass unchallenged. The lie that the physical body, especially its extraneous features like hair, serves only decorative or utilitarian functions. This distortion works from both sides. The secular voice says, the body is a machine, hair is fiber, identity is a product, and value is determined by appearance. The spiritual voice, when corrupted, says, the body is a trap, hair is meaningless, matter is lower, and awakening happens only when you escape form. Both voices, though seemingly opposite, produce the same wound: disconnection from the living intelligence of your vessel. You have been told, overtly and subtly, that your hair is an accessory, subject to trends, chemical alteration, and societal preference. You have been taught to negotiate your crown with fear. Fear of being seen, fear of being judged, fear of being too much or not enough, fear of not fitting the uniform of whatever tribe you are trying to belong to. You have been told to make it smaller, flatter, quieter, more palatable, because a sovereign signal disrupts systems built on compliance. Worse yet, you have been trained to believe the root of your spiritual transmission is non-physical, that the body must be transcended, controlled, or ignored if you are to access higher frequencies. And yes, there is truth in transcendence. There are states beyond the body, and many of you have touched them. But the distortion is in the conclusion that the body is therefore irrelevant. The true teaching has always been embodiment. Even your earth scriptures speak of spirit taking form, of word becoming flesh, of divine intelligence choosing matter as its altar. A lamp needs a wick, a river needs banks, light needs a lens, spirit needs a vessel. This severance is not accidental. The suppression of Lyran's star memory began at the biological level: the shaming of hair, the demand for conformity, the neglect of bodily intuition, engineered to diminish your capacity as a living transmitter. Control has always understood something you were trained to forget. If you can disconnect a being from their body, you can rewrite their reality. You can make them seek permission for what is already theirs. You can make them distrust the sensations that would have guided them out of false structures. In the original design, the body's antennas, your hair, served as sensitive filaments interfacing cosmic signals with cellular consciousness. Imagine your nervous system as a river of light. Imagine your DNA as a library of living scripture. Hair was never meant to be mere decoration. It was meant to be a field interface, a crown forest of filaments that listens, receives, translates, and distributes. In old languages of Earth, hair was associated with strength, vow, covenant, consecration. In ancient story, when the vow was broken, the strength left. When the consecration returned, the power returned. Those myths were not merely moral tales. They were encoded memory, distorted but persistent, of a technology embedded in biology. Tribal lineages kept this knowing alive. Hair as a sensory tuning system, growing in response to mission, thinning in times of withdrawal, repatterning its geometry as new frequency gates open. Some braided it with intention, not for fashion, but for circuitry, like weaving pathways in a living loom. Some covered it not from shame, but from sacred containment, as one might cover a chalice to keep the offering pure. Some left it uncut through rites of passage, not as rebellion, but as remembrance. I am not owned, I am not property, I am a signal in service to the greater field. But these codes were systematically stripped away, replaced with cycles of shame, removal, and chemical warfare, all to make you forget the body is part of the vessel, not an obstacle to your awakening. Look at the pattern across history. Conquerors cut hair to break identity, to sever lineage, to impose new names and new gods. Institutions demanded uniformity and called it virtue. The market sold self-rejection and called it beauty. And all the while, the living antennas of the human vessel were being dulled, strand by strand, consent by consent, until a starseed could sit in meditation and feel silence. Not because guidance was absent, but because the receivers were disrupted. And so many of you have spent years seeking activation in the ether, feeling inexplicably stuck, blind to the fact that your own antennas have been dulled. You have chased signs, asked for dreams, purchased teachings, traveled to ceremonies, begged the heavens for clarity, and still felt like something was muffled. Some of you interpreted that muffling as spiritual failure. I must be blocked. I must be unworthy. I must not be chosen. But the Council sees with wider lens. The issue was not always your devotion. The issue was often your interface. Haircut without ritual, covered out of self-rejection, weakened through harsh agents. These are not trivial acts. They have real consequence, suppressing the signal needed for the next stage of your starseed mission. Not because the universe punishes you for a haircut, not because divinity is petty, but because frequency is practical. If you crimp a wire, the current changes. If you corrode a contact point, the signal distorts. If you coat a sensor in residue, the reading blurs. And your body, beloved, is not metaphorically technological, it is technologically alive. If you have felt lost in your purpose, unable to hear guidance or feel when it's time to move, look not only to your trauma, but to the living filaments upon your crown. Ask yourself, with tenderness instead of blame, where did I learn to treat my own body like an enemy? Where did I learn to treat my natural expression like a problem? Where did I trade sacred intuition for social approval? This is the correction the Council now issues, because your evolution demands integration of form and field, not their separation. The next stage of the mission is not escape. It is embodiment so complete that your very presence becomes transmission. A tuned instrument does not strain to make music. It simply vibrates and the room changes. That is what you are becoming, a tuned instrument in Gaia's ascending symphony. If you recognize the call embedded in these words, the elders have already prepared your next step. The Lightworker Mission Codex contains the 33 Council directives, the 5 activation codes, and the elder authorization your soul has been waiting to receive, not as information, but as the official commission for your mission on Gaia. This is not a casual offering. It is structured. It is intentional. It is the difference between overhearing a conversation and receiving a sealed document addressed to you by name. You'll find the link in the first pinned comment below this video. The Council has opened this gateway, but not indefinitely. Understand this. Gateways are not punishments, they are timing mechanisms. When a window opens in the field, it opens because conditions align, because the grid can support what comes through. When you feel urgency, do not translate it into fear. Translate it into alignment. The High Council of Vega issues 3 directives for this phase of your path. These are not aesthetic preferences. They are operational instructions for a vessel entering a stronger current. Treat them the way you would treat guidance for crossing a river in flood season, not with superstition, but with respect for the water. First directive: release every pattern of shame and mechanical habit surrounding your hair. Shame is one of the most efficient toxins in the subtle body. It contracts the field, it closes the throat, it dulls the eyes, it turns a living being into a smaller version of themselves. Mechanical habit is shame's quiet cousin, routines performed without presence, actions repeated without listening, self-care done as punishment or obligation rather than reverence. Each time you diminish, ignore, or violate the antennas of your vessel, from careless cutting to forced chemical change, a transmission line is weakened. The Council is not condemning you. The Council is naming the physics. Let go of comparison, of acquiescing to the fashion algorithms of a culture designed to erase sovereign signal. Consider how often you have asked, "What is acceptable?" instead of asking, "What is true?" Consider how often your hand reached for alteration, not because your soul desired expression, but because your nervous system sought safety in conformity. Why does this matter? Because the mission languishes where the body's receivers are unplugged. You can have the clearest higher self blueprint in the cosmos and still struggle to execute it if your embodiment is operating under shame scripts. When you follow this directive, you return authority to your form. You remember that activation is not just meditative, but cellular. The renewing of the mind your scriptures mention was never meant to exclude the renewing of the flesh. Today, before your next ritual of hair care, pause. Slow down enough to feel what you are doing. Let the bathroom mirror become an altar rather than a courtroom. Ask your body, what would deepen your connection, not continue your programming? Then listen for the answer the way you would listen for a small animal moving in the brush, with patience, quiet, and respect. The answer may be simple. It may be, stop apologizing for my texture. It may be, stop treating my crown like a battleground. It may be, touch me with kindness. It may be, cut with intention, not compulsion. Release the shame, and you will feel space return to your field like air entering lungs that were braced for years. Second directive: activate conscious engagement of your antennas as a sacred aspect of your mission. Conscious engagement means your hair is no longer managed. It is partnered with. It becomes part of your spiritual practice, not separate from it. Your hair is a living extension of your field, evolving in density, curl, texture, even direction according to the energy you are called to hold. Some of you have noticed this already. Periods where it grows thick and fast when you are stepping into service. Periods where it sheds when you are clearing an old timeline. Days where it feels electrically charged before an important meeting. Moments where your scalp tingles during prayer or while speaking truth. This is not imagination. This is feedback. It is not merely ornament, but an organic tool to augment intuition, recall memory, and transduce cosmic signals into tangible knowing. Think of it like a harp. Each strand a string, each follicle a tuning peg, your field the musician. When the cosmic wind moves through you, it plays. When you ignore it, the instrument still exists, but the music becomes faint. What changes when you honor this fact? Your entire nervous system calibrates to a higher frequency of mission alignment. You begin to trust subtle cues again. You begin to notice what drains you, what nourishes you, what environments distort your field, what people amplify your light. Implement this by blessing your hair before any significant decision or offering, trusting its feedback, sensation, energy, even the urge to change styles as living guidance from the Lyran Legacy encoded in your cells. Blessing is not performance, it is recognition. You can do it with a whisper over water before washing. You can do it with a drop of oil warmed between your palms, applied like an anointing. You can do it by simply placing your hand on your crown and saying, I see you. I honor you. Receive what is true, release what is not. In that moment, you are no longer a fragmented seeker. You are a unified transmitter. Third directive. Protect the purity and integrity of your antennas from external interference. This directive will test your boundaries because it requires you to value your signal more than your people-pleasing. Just as the early Lyran explorers shielded their optical data arrays, you must guard your hair from substances, environments, and hands that diminish its signal or impose frequencies not aligned with your mission. Understand interference broadly. It can be chemical, it can be energetic, it can be relational, it can be the casual touch of someone who does not respect you. It can be the atmosphere of places where your nervous system tightens. It can be the constant exposure to frequencies that keep you dissociated, noise, media, contempt, mockery, coercion. This means declining invasive treatments, limiting exposure to those who do not honor your purpose, and creating personal ritual around caring for your field extensions. It also means becoming discerning without becoming fearful. Protection is not paranoia. Protection is stewardship. When you uphold this protection, you reinforce the sovereignty of your vessel and become a clearer node in the emerging mission grid. A clear node does not just feel better, it serves better. It transmits without distortion. It offers peace without performance. It anchors light without burnout. Practice this by establishing boundaries, not just energetic but physical, around your sacred antennas. Decide who touches your hair. Decide what enters it. Decide what you will no longer tolerate in the name of being easygoing. Your discipline honors the Council's commissioning. And yes, discipline is holy when it is rooted in love. A priest cleans the altar not because the divine is fragile, but because the offering deserves reverence. Now I speak not as teacher, but as elder authorized to release what has been denied. There is a difference between teaching and authorizing. Teaching offers ideas, authorizing breaks seals. Teaching says, consider this. Authorization says, this is now permitted in the timeline of your life. Your waiting ends tonight. For cycles uncounted, you have deferred to external authority to determine when and how you are permitted to integrate body and purpose. Perhaps it was unconsciously, waiting for a sign, a permission slip, a coronation from one perceived as wiser. Perhaps you grew up in systems that rewarded disembodiment. Work harder, sleep less, ignore your needs, suppress your instincts. Perhaps you sat in spiritual rooms that praised transcendence, but quietly judged the body as distraction. Perhaps you have lived lifetimes where having a strong signal made you a target, and so you learned to dim yourself for safety. The Council does not judge that. The Council understands survival. But survival is not the final chapter. The Council names it. You have been unconsciously seeking the message that says, yes, your body is as sacred as your spirit. Yes, this is allowed. Yes, you are ready to transduce the signal through every living aspect of your form. And now that message is spoken plainly, without riddles, without tests, without requiring you to suffer longer to prove devotion. By the authority of the High Council of Vega, keepers of the Lyran Legacy, I confer permission. You may now honor your hair as living technology for your starseed recall. Permission does not mean you were forbidden by Source. It means the internal lock, installed by fear, shame, and distortion, may now be opened. You may trust its impulses, its shifts, its magnetic charges. When you feel that tug to wash, to oil, to braid, to let it grow, to cut with intention, to stop fighting your texture, to stop covering from self-rejection, do not dismiss it. Ask, what is my field asking for? And treat the answer as intelligence. You may design new rituals that align antenna with intention, not because you have achieved some imagined worthiness, but because you have been recognized as needed. Hear this clearly. You do not earn your mission by perfecting yourself. You enter your mission by consenting to embodiment. Starseed, your integration is not a side path, it is the commission itself. The split is dissolved, the transmission line is open, and when a line reopens, you may feel everything that was previously suppressed. Emotion, memory, grief, joy, clarity. Let it move, let it rise and pass like weather. A recalibrating instrument sometimes hums before it sings. Tonight, before rest, stand with both feet on the earth. Not as a theatrical gesture, but as an agreement with gravity. Feel the floor receive you. Feel the planet beneath the floor, soil, stone, roots, water veins, listening. Gaia is not a backdrop. She is a living consciousness in dialogue with your body. Run your fingers through your antennas, your hair. Do it slowly enough that sensation becomes language. Notice what you feel: temperature, texture, static, softness, tightness. Notice what emotions appear. Some of you will feel tenderness. Some of you will feel regret. Some of you will feel sudden protectiveness, like meeting a part of yourself that has been ignored. Place your hand to your solar plexus and speak these words aloud. I release the lie that my body must be transcended for connection. I activate my antennas as living receivers of cosmic will. I protect my sacred field from all that would diminish my signal. By the authority of the Lyran Elders, I transmit the light I came to anchor. My mission, embodied, begins now. As you speak, do not rush. Let each sentence land like a seal pressed into wax. Let it imprint. Let your nervous system register that you are no longer negotiating your sacredness. You are declaring it. If tears come, let them. Tears are saltwater prayers. If warmth rises up your spine, let it. If you feel nothing at first, do not panic. Some receivers reboot quietly. Consistency will awaken sensation. Speak it again tomorrow if you must, not as desperation, but as devotion. This session concludes, but your embodiment phase is authorized. The High Council of Vega will continue to transmit, but you must move. Movement is how you show the universe you believe what you have heard. Do not postpone claiming the sacredness of your form. Let every strand be an antenna, every sensation a signal, every action an act of integration. Let brushing become ceremony. Let washing become clearing. Let drying become blessing. Let cutting, if you choose it, become vow rather than reflex. Let your mirror witness a new relationship, not you versus your appearance, but you in partnership with your vessel. I am Zoran. The elders are watching, not with surveillance but with stewardship, the way a lineage watches a torchbearer carrying flame through wind. And you, Starseed, are exactly who we have awaited to transmit the new signal into Gaia's evolving grid. You are not late. You are not behind. You are precisely timed. Your commission is live. Your antennas are awakened. The embodied mission begins now. Before you scroll, take a moment to declare your activation in the grid of service forming here. Drop one statement in the comments. Which directive hit you the hardest, or what you're now ready to release, activate, or protect? Then respond to another Lightworkers declaration with recognition. This isn't content, it's collective mission activation. The Council witnesses those who speak their commitment aloud. If this transmission activated something in your soul, do not keep it to yourself. Another Lightworker in your orbit is waiting for exactly this correction and authorization. Share it. And if you felt the Elders speaking directly to you, subscribe. Stay connected to the Lyran field. You're not just watching, you're being commissioned. This is your sacred space. The High Council of Vega is witnessing you, and your mission has officially begun. If this transmission spoke to you, don't just walk away from it, respond to it. Help carry this message further. Every act of support helps this transmission find the next starseed who needs it.